Okay, so you want to learn about radium. We're talking about an element that went from, like, miracle cure to deadly danger, and honestly, what you sent us about it is fascinating.
Yeah, it really is.
We're going to dive deep into radium,
Absolutely.
using what you shared, excerpts from the Wikipedia article on radium and this really interesting Stanford Report article
Yeah.
focusing on the history of radium.
It's really remarkable how much our understanding of this element has changed over time.
Get ready for some surprises,
Very
because
good.
you might be shocked to learn just how common radium used to be.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking everyday items kind of common.
To get us started, how about we go all the way back to the discovery of radium?
Sounds good to me. Imagine it's 1898, and we're in Paris with Marie and Pierre Curie working in their lab.
Okay.
They're fascinated by this new discovery, invisible radiation coming from uranium,
Right.
which Henri Becquerel discovered.
Uh-huh.
Marie Curie decides to focus her doctoral research on this.
She was working with pitchblende, which is a uranium ore, right?
That's right. And she was getting some strange readings.
That's right. Her instruments were showing way higher radiation levels than could be explained by the uranium alone.
Wow.
That led her to believe that something else, another element that was even more radioactive, was hiding within the pitchblende.
Her instincts were spot on. They spent years isolating radium, processing tons of pitchblende just to extract a tiny amount.
It's incredible.
What dedication! It's really hard to grasp what a massive undertaking that must have been.
It really shows their incredible dedication to scientific exploration.
Yeah.
Marie Curie even coined the term radioactivity to describe the emissions she was observing.
So once they finally isolated radium, what did they find out about it? Where does it fit in with the rest of the elements?
Well, radium is an alkaline earth metal,
Go.
and it's the heaviest one. It's the only radioactive element in that group, and sits right below barium on the periodic table. It shares a lot of properties with barium.
And it's silvery white in its pure form, but there's a fun fact from the Stanford report that says it reacts with nitrogen in the air and turns black.
Yeah, that black layer is actually radium nitride forming.
Interesting.
Another interesting thing is that every single radium isotope is radioactive.
Yeah.
Meaning their atoms are unstable and break down over time.
Right.
That's where the danger comes in.
Makes sense.
And unfortunately, that danger wasn't immediately understood.
To help us understand this danger, could you tell us a little more about these isotopes?
Absolutely. Let's talk about radium-226.
Okay.
This is the most stable isotope with a half-life of 1,600 years.
Wow.
That means it takes 1,600 years for half of a sample of radium-226 to break down into other elements.
Okay.
It's what makes up almost all naturally occurring radium.
So because of that long half-life, its radioactivity lasts for an incredibly long time.
Yes.
What happens when it decays?
It goes through a series of steps, emitting different types of energy along the way.
Yeah.
These are called alpha particles, beta particles, and gamma rays. One of the byproducts is radon gas, which is also radioactive and a major contributor to radium's danger.
So at this point, scientists are discovering radium and learning about these radioactive properties.
Yes.
But according to what you sent us, radium was viewed in a surprisingly positive light back in the early 1900s.
Yes, that's right. There was a period known as the radium craze.
Okay.
People were captivated by radium's glow-in-the-dark properties, and the idea of this newfound energy was very appealing.
It was marketed as a health booster and added to everything. Toothpaste, chocolate, even water. There were even radium spas where people would soak in radium-rich water.
It's crazy to think about now.
It's wild to think about now.
What's fascinating here is how radium's properties were both misunderstood and exploited. This was a time when new scientific discoveries captivated the public, and radium, with its glow-in-the-dark allure, became a symbol of progress.
Right.
People associated it with vitality and good health, which is tragic because the dangers of radiation weren't fully understood.
It really is incredible to think about how our understanding of things can change so drastically.
It is.
And I know radium was even used in medicine at that time, right?
Yes, it was. Doctors were beginning to experiment with radium in early radiotherapy to try and target and destroy cancerous tumors. It was really a groundbreaking advancement in medicine, but definitely not without its drawbacks.
This early use of radium to treat cancer, it seems revolutionary for the time.
Yeah.
But I imagine there were some significant challenges. What kind of setbacks or limitations did they encounter?
At that time, doctors and scientists were working with a very powerful tool, but didn't have a full grasp of the long-term consequences.
Right.
While some patients did benefit from these early treatments,
Hmm.
many others experienced serious side effects from the radiation exposure.
The information you sent lists anemia, cancer,
Oh, yeah.
and even genetic mutations as potential consequences of radium exposure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The potential benefits of radium in medicine were intertwined with very real dangers, and that line was very blurry at the time.
Sounds like it.
This brings up an important point, finding the balance between scientific advancement and protecting people.
Yeah.
While radium offered hope for treating diseases like cancer, the long-term effects could be absolutely devastating.
It's a good point, and it makes the story of the Radium Girls all the more tragic.
Absolutely.
What they went through is really difficult to grasp, especially knowing they were exposed to such danger without being aware of the risks.
It's a story that exemplifies the human cost of scientific progress and serves as a stark reminder of the importance of worker safety.
These women were working in factories, painting watch dials with radium paint to make them glow in the dark.
Right.
I remember reading about this in the Stanford report.
Yeah,
The paint was a mixture of radium and zinc sulfide.
that's right.
The radium emitted alpha particles that would cause the zinc sulfide to glow.
And tragically, the women were told to lick their brushes to get a fine point,
Oh, wow.
which was standard practice at the time for that kind of delicate work.
It's just horrifying. They were ingesting radium with every lick
It's unbelievable.
hundreds of times
Oh.
every day, and they had absolutely no idea how dangerous it was.
The Stanford report article you sent estimates they were ingesting up to 43 micrograms of radium daily.
Wow.
That constant exposure led to horrific health problems for these women.
Both the Wikipedia article and the Stanford report detail the horrible consequences. Jaw necrosis,
Right.
tooth loss, ulcers that refuse to heal, bone fractures, anemia, and in many cases, aggressive forms of cancer. Their bodies were ravaged by the radiation.
And it took years for the companies to acknowledge the danger,
It's terrible.
and even longer for the women to get any justice.
The impact of their fight was significant.
Oh, for sure.
It wasn't just about the suffering they endured.
Yeah.
Their legal battles were landmark cases that established workers' compensation and paved the way for the occupational safety regulations we have today.
That's right.
Every worker today benefits from that legacy.
Absolutely. It was a turning point that forced people to confront the issue of worker safety and acknowledge the need for rigorous scientific testing and transparency, especially when using new technologies.
So the Radium Girls story had a major role in bringing the dangers of radium to light.
For sure.
But going back to the radium craze, it's almost unbelievable that people were so eager to use a substance that's now known to be so dangerous.
Looking back, it's easy to judge,
Right.
but it's important to remember the historical context.
Yeah.
In the early 20th century, radioactivity was a completely new discovery.
It was seen as this mysterious force,
Like magic.
almost like magic.
That's right. And this discovery came about during a time when society was really fascinated by science and technology. People were excited about anything that promised to improve health and well-being and bring about progress.
It's really amazing how something like that can sweep the world.
It is.
Looking at what you shared with us, there were radium-infused products everywhere.
Everywhere.
Radium water, radium toothpaste, radium face cream, even radium chocolate.
It's hard to believe now, knowing what we know. There were radium spas where people would soak in radium-rich water, thinking it was a fountain of youth.
Oh, wow.
The luminescence of radium,
Yeah.
eerie glow-in-the-dark quality, actually made it more appealing.
It must have seemed almost supernatural.
Oh, yeah.
It's a powerful example of what can happen when a lack of scientific understanding is combined with clever marketing.
Yeah.
People were drawn to the allure of radium without knowing the potential consequences.
Yes, and that's an important lesson even today.
Yeah.
We see similar patterns with fad diets,
Right.
miracle cures, and certain wellness trends.
It's a reminder to be cautious, to learn from the past, and not just jump on board with something new without looking into it.
Absolutely.
So with all the negative consequences coming to light, how did the radium craze eventually end?
As we discussed, the tragic story of the Radium Girls played a major role. Their suffering and the lawsuits that followed brought the dangers of radium into the public eye, and it was no longer possible to ignore those devastating health consequences.
There's a detail in the Wikipedia article that I found really disturbing. It mentions that the scientists and managers at these radium companies were taking precautions to protect themselves from radiation.
Yes, suggesting that they were at least somewhat aware of the risks while they were simultaneously exposing their workers to the same risks without adequate protection.
That's just shocking.
It was a pivotal moment for worker safety regulations.
Yeah.
It increased public awareness of the dangers of radiation.
Yeah.
And according to the Stanford Report article, the legacy of the Radium Girls led to the formation of labor safety laws and workers' compensation laws,
Mm.
and ultimately OSHA as we know it today.
So even though their story is a tragedy, it did lead to some positive change, which has protected countless workers since then.
That's right. It's a somber reminder that progress can come at a cost.
Absolutely.
And we have a responsibility to learn from these mistakes and advocate for safer and more ethical uses of scientific discoveries.
Well said. So with all we've learned, it makes sense that radium use today is extremely limited.
Exactly. As our understanding of radiation and how it impacts the human body has grown,
Right.
safer and more effective alternatives have replaced most of the things radium was once used for.
We talked a bit about medical use earlier, but even that is very restricted.
The primary use of radium today is in the production of other radioactive isotopes.
The Wikipedia article mentions that it's used to create actinium-227, which is then used in some medical and industrial applications.
Right.
It's ironic that radium, which was once considered a wonder element,
Yeah.
is now primarily used to create other radioactive materials.
It really speaks to how our perception of scientific discoveries can change so drastically as we learn more about them.
It underscores the need for humility when dealing with new discoveries,
Yes.
approaching them with curiosity but also caution, always thinking about potential consequences, both good and bad.
I agree. We should always be asking questions and considering the implications.
It feels like we've covered so much in this deep dive.
It's a lot.
We've talked about the discovery of radium, its properties, its time as a miracle cure, which didn't last very long,
Yeah.
the tragic story of the Radium Girls,
Absolutely.
and its very limited uses today.
It's definitely a winding story full of twists and turns that brings up a lot of important questions about the intersections of science, technology, ethics, and human nature.
What stands out to you as the most important takeaway from all of this?
For me, it's the importance of understanding the context of a situation. We can't look at the past only through the lens of what we know today.
Right.
We have to think about the knowledge and beliefs of that time, as well as the cultural and societal factors that shaped those beliefs.
It's about seeing the whole picture.
Right, and recognizing that scientific progress doesn't always follow a straight path.
Yeah.
There are unforeseen consequences, and it can take time and sadly even tragedy to fully understand the impact of new discoveries.
It's a call to be vigilant and humble as we continue to push the boundaries of scientific knowledge. It's a good reminder that we're constantly learning and growing, and our understanding of the world is always evolving.
Speaking of learning and evolving, let's circle back to radium's modern-day applications.
Okay.
We've talked about how its use is now extremely limited.
Right.
But it does still have some applications, particularly in medicine, right?
Right. It's actually pretty amazing that radium, once seen as this miracle cure,
I know.
still has some medical benefits,
It does.
albeit in a much more controlled way.
You're exactly right. It's much more controlled and targeted. One example is radium-223.
Okay.
The Wikipedia article you shared mentions that it's used in a very specific treatment called radium-223 dichloride. It's fascinating because it actually targets bone cancer cells.
Wow.
This makes it a potentially life-saving treatment for people with certain types of cancer, especially those who haven't responded to other therapies.
Wow, so it's become a specialized tool in the fight against cancer. The Stanford report specifically mentions its use for prostate cancer patients with bone metastases, particularly those who can't have surgery or have high risk factors.
Precisely. It's a prime example of how our understanding of a substance can evolve.
Right.
We've gone from radium being marketed as a general health booster to it being used in very precise and targeted medical treatments.
It's remarkable how things have changed. Now, aside from these medical uses, are there any other applications for radium today?
There are a few, but they're dwindling. The Wikipedia article you sent mentions that it's sometimes used in industrial settings to check metal parts for flaws. But even these uses are being phased out as safer alternatives become available.
So it's safe to say that radium's heyday has definitely passed.
Yes,
You know, it's
definitely.
really fascinating to think about. This element was once seen as a symbol of progress, of boundless potential.
Right.
Now knowing what we know, it serves as a cautionary tale.
It does.
It reminds us that we always need to be aware of the potential consequences, both positive and negative of scientific discovery.
I think that's a great point. Radium's story highlights how important it is to approach scientific advancements with a balance of excitement and caution.
Yeah,
We need to be mindful of the potential impact on human health, the environment, and even our ethical boundaries.
I agree. And I think the story of radium also prompts us to ask some hard questions about the substances we use today.
Yeah.
Are there things that seem harmless now, but might be viewed with the same apprehension as radium in the future?
It's a question worth pondering. It reminds us to be constantly learning, questioning, and reevaluating our relationship with the things we create and use.
It's been an incredible journey exploring the world of radium,
Yeah,
from its exciting beginnings to its darker side and ultimately to its very specific uses today.
absolutely.
What a fascinating deep dive.
I couldn't agree more. It's a truly captivating story that underscores the importance of continuous learning and ethical considerations in science.
Well, we've reached the end of our radium deep dive. Hopefully this has given you a lot to think about.
It's a reminder that scientific progress, while essential, needs to be approached with responsibility and a critical eye.
Yes, and to you, our listener, we encourage you to keep exploring, questioning, and learning about the world around you.
Sure.
There's so many fascinating discoveries out there waiting to be uncovered, and who knows,
Right?
maybe you'll be the one to make the next big breakthrough.